Welcome to the Brand Wise podcast, where we talk about the big branding moves that business owners are making and the why behind it. I'm your host, Jess Freeman, here to help you be wise and be bold. Today, we are talking with Karina Rips all about her rebrand, and I'm so excited for y'all to hear her story. So we're just going to dive right in. Thank you so much for being here, Karina. I am so excited to chat. But to get us started, in one sentence, what is your brand all about?
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. I am a run coach turned business mentor for run coaches, helping run coaches specifically build wildly profitable yet sustainable businesses without having them burn out and also without having them lose their voice in the process of that.
I love that. I thought you were going to make a pun about without running out of steam or
I should have. I'm going to add that.
Okay, there you go. Not sure if that fits your brand vibe, but that's where
It does.
Okay, well, that's where my brain was going. I was like, oh no, we're talking about burnout. Okay, got it. Which is also great. Also, I love that you focus on that. So obviously we're talking about your rebrand story. So I want to start with what made you decide to rebrand? Tell us about the old brand. What made you decide ooh, I need to make a change?
Yeah, 100%. It's interesting because I didn't wake up one day and say it's time to rebrand. And whenever I used to think about would I pivot in my business, how would I go about that? I was like, well, surely I will just be like, yeah, this is the rebrand. Today is the day. It's more of a slow burn, which I'm sure you can relate to, but I had built a 6-figure run coaching business from the ground up, and I did it faster than most. I was balancing a 9 to 5 when I first started my business. I've now left that, but at the time I was building my business and I was like, okay, this is growing. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And on the side, I would always have people DM me that were run coaches and ask me how did you do this? Or how did you get started? Or how did you even get to where you are? Do you have any tips on content? And so I would answer some of those questions in Instagram stories for Ask Me Anything stuff or send them a DM back. But I didn't do much of that. I more so started to just have conversations with friends and who were also in the run coaching space and give them advice just through having open conversations and sharing what was going on in our businesses. And then I realized, okay, I have something. I've had business mentors since the day I started my business, and I also went to business school. So I was like, I have something here. I really enjoy talking about it. I really enjoy helping people. It's clearly something that I'm good at, and I couldn't stop thinking about that. And so that is what prompted me then pivoting over, but being hyper specific of, okay, I just want to help run coaches because that's my story, and I know I'm very good at that.
Did you gradually because I know I have seen coaches who are like, okay, I'm a run coach. I'm going to help other run coach, and not specifically, but but I'm this type of coach. I'm going to help this type of coach with their business. So I'm going to offer both. And then eventually the other one falls off. And now I'm just this mentor business coach. Did you do that? Or were you cold turkey? I'm no longer a run coach.
I did the former. So, and I still am. Earlier this year, once I went more into the business coaching side of things, I more formally announced that I was shutting down the run coaching part of my business. So, get in now if you want to be a part of this experience and I will coach you. I will still be your run coach. But I have a roster of one-on-one clients who are still being coached by me, and I don't market for that part of my business anymore. I help them, but the only front-facing marketing that I am doing is all for business coaching. But to answer your question too, I do feel like it's nice to have a little bit of what I liked doing, but not have it be everything in my business. And I think it's also interesting because it shows you, yeah, you can there's a world in which you can do both. It doesn't have to be cold turkey necessarily.
Mhm. Yes, I love that because, again, we can have kind of these, like, multifaceted businesses. I feel like, yes, there are like, I talk about niching down often, and, like, being a run coach is very niche.
Yes.
But I like that you talk about, like, having this balance in your business with, like, having both things that you enjoy, and I think there's more people that could open themselves up to that. That
Oh,
they're
yeah.
because I think sometimes we get caught up in all this online advice, and they're like, "Well, I can't do both. I can't do both things because whoever they are, said that we can't. Like, I have to focus on this."
Yeah,
So
it's so interesting because when I first started out in my run coaching business, I had a lot of imposter syndrome, obviously, and also I had whoever the they is, being like, "I can't, and I must not, and I follow this rule." So when I was going through my rebrand and this pivot, I initially, I think this is just how we're wired. I initially was like, well, simply, I can't do both. I have to have one message and it has to be known that I am
mm,
no longer doing run coaching. And it's like, you can easily do both if that's what you want to do. If you want to do both, do both. If you don't want to do both, don't do both. You don't
yeah.
have to. No one's telling you one way or the other. Just do what feels aligned to you and what feels authentic to you, too.
Mhm. Yes, agree so much. So, I'm curious with the rebrand because it's like a big pivot slash addition, whatever you wanna call it. Um, did you keep, like, one website? Did you let go of any of the visual? Like, did you? Because I think you have them kind of as separate brands. So, did you keep the brands cohesive? Is it like, no, they're, like, wildly different kind of colors and vibes, or how did you approach that?
I kept it somewhat cohesive. I knew the people who were right in front of me already. I wanted them to see that I'm going through this transition. I wanted to nurture my email list. I wanted to put out new content, all of that stuff before I said, now let me go update my main page. Having said that, the colors and the branding is somewhat similar. I would say my business coaching, I have more bright colors to have
Hmm,
it stand out a little bit more. So I chose that intentionally. Like I played around with bright yellows and still kept, for me, my main colors are more blues. So I still
mhm,
have that, but I have some of the yellows in there. And then the other thing that I did was with my business coaching, I went out and I did a new photo shoot for this rebrand just to make it nice and distinct versus like, okay, these are clearly running photos of me. I those would
mhm.
work, but I would like to have more professional, "Oh, she's giving off a business mentor versus she's just a run coach." So that was a big thing for me to do too.
Yeah, I like that you made that distinction because while it would make sense, and because you're coaching run coaches, there you do want that kind of distinction between the two brands. And I also like that you mentioned like you kept the blue that
Mhm.
added in because that is something that I've helped several clients with if they're creating kind of like a secondary related business.
Yes.
And they're like, do my logos need to match? Do they need to be super cohesive? And I'm like, well, one, it's kind of up to you. Like, do you want them related at all? Or do you want them like
Right.
completely separate? I think it also depends on like the type of business. Yeah.
Yes.
But incorporating like one or two colors into each can help them feel cohesive without being like, this looks like the exact same brand.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
and for people who might be like Googling you, landing, whatever, if they for some reason, I don't know if this would actually happen, but in my brain, if someone for some reason is pulling up like both websites or like the brands or whatever, and you have the same exact colors and the same exact photos, they're going to be like, what is happening here? Like, I'm
Yeah.
so confused. Like,
It looks all the
so
same.
yeah.
Yeah.
So even just a little bit of difference can be good just to have that little bit of separation, but like, it's still me. I just have
Right.
two ways, two different audiences.
Oh, totally. Yeah. My vibe for being a business mentor is totally different than being a run coach. So there's
Mhm.
similarities in some of the colors, like I said, but just the content, even the content that I'm writing, the colors that I'm choosing, like it's all the pictures that I'm choosing, it's all very intentional to give off the vibe of, yes, I am a business coach. I am not a run coach. And
Mhm.
those are two totally different experiences that I want my
Yes.
audience to be able to distinguish between.
Mhm. Yeah. So, during this transition, either, like, at the beginning or now, has there been any big challenges or, like, "Oh crap, what am I doing?"
Yes, 100%. I think that makes us human. I do feel very aligned to this rebrand. I did it because I knew I was operating out of alignment. I think whenever you do something new, even if you're very far along into being a business owner, you kind of get set back a little bit with excuse me, with some imposter syndrome because I've been doing this for years, but I step into this space as now a business coach, and I feel a little in my head of like, "Oh, am I starting over? How will this be perceived? What will people think? Will my current audience leave? Will they no longer be interested?" And I think sometimes that can be the hardest part is just you questioning yourself. And it's funny because I have a business mentor now, and she reminds me all the time my business is doing better than it ever has been. So, like,
Mhm.
there's the proof in the pudding. But I think sometimes I'm still wondering, was this the right move? Should I go back and get some more run coaching clients? Should I just go back to run coaching? And I deep down I don't feel that way, but I do think that is a hard part of this process is you yourself as the business owner adapting to a choice that you made that feels in alignment but still feels a little clunky at the
Mhm.
beginning.
Mhm. Yeah, it's I anytime I've made changes in my own business, I have felt that too, where it's like, this feels so good, like, I love the change that I've made, and then also like, but should I do this? Should I go back? Should I change it? Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just, like, because 'cause we're on the internet and see 1,000 different voices, or if it's just, I don't know, the brain of an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I think it's both, honestly. I think you can second guess yourself a lot. I think it's also easy to get caught up in always wanting more for yourself. I know I'm
Mm,
really guilty of that. I will be doing well and then I'll be like, "Well, I wanted it to go better." Or
mhm,
I hit my goal, but okay, so I hit my goal. Could I have set a bigger goal for myself? And I think when you're going through a rebrand, there's ebbs and flows of, okay, it's like the initial adrenaline rush and high
mhm,
of this is fun and this feels good and this feels new and this feels fresh. And then, oh, well, like there's some bumps in the road, like
mhm.
inevitably just with a
Yeah.
rebrand that happens. So I do think it's hard to feel smooth sailing when you go through something like this. But I think just ground yourself back to why you did it in the first place. That's what helps me.
Yes, yes. I wanna since we talked about the challenges, the hard parts that we all deal with, I also wanna flip it and talk about what are you most proud of during that happened during this rebrand?
I I feel like the part that I'm most proud of is the very beginning of this rebrand. I wish I could have planned this better, but life happens. I was going through something really, really personal when I was going through this rebrand, and I was guns a blazing because I had made the decision. I had marketed it out there. I was launching a new program, my first ever program in the business coaching space. And at this simultaneously at the same time, I was going through something really personal that did make it hard to show up. And
Mhm,
I had a really successful launch. I blew past any numbers I could have ever imagined for myself. And it was a reminder for me that as business owners, again, when you are operating out of what feels good to you and not what you think feels good to your audience or what you think your audience wants or what you think your audience needs, you will be wildly successful. And a lot of that for me happened at the very beginning. And I really think that catapulted me into everything I ended up doing the next couple months. Like I stopped making my content palatable. I learned like my new identity of being like the go-to mentor for run coaches instead of just saying like I'm trying to be the mentor for every run coach. No, I
Hmm.
can be more hyper specific on who I want to work with. My voice got sharper, my offers got more aligned, and my belief in myself got a lot louder too. And I feel like that's what I'm most proud of in this process is I was able to do that while also navigating so much outside of business. So
Yeah, it is. I feel like I hear a lot of stories from business owners that it's always like during a launch or a pivot or something that then crap hits the fan and you're like, really? Why did
yes.
it had to be right now? Really?
Oh yes.
But it is like as someone who also made a pivot last year, it is so, so rewarding and like empowering
Hmm.
to make this change and then like you said like your voice gets sharper, you have more confidence, and for me that wasn't something that I was really expecting. Like I
Hmm.
don't know if you were, but I was like, I mean, I thought like, oh yes, this will make messaging easier and like that kind of thing, but when everything kind of aligns and gets easier and it just feels better, then it I was like, oh, okay, I didn't realize this was also going to make me feel more confident.
Yeah, it's a byproduct of
Mhm.
being in alignment and making those decisions. I really do think it's so true for everyone who's going through something like that, though, because ultimately I go back to why are you wanting to rebrand in the first place? And if your intentions are good and it's truly out of, I feel more called to do that type of work, then inevitably everything is going to feel lighter and easier. And it's not like a fleeting moment where you have it and then it goes away. Yes, as a business owner, all that is going to ebb and flow, but overall, that should be feeling more light, more fun, more free to you in your day to day and not like, "Oh, this is something that I'm dreading doing right now." That
Mhm.
feeling shouldn't exist when you end up rebranding.
Yeah, 100%. I resonate with that. Like, there's the ebbs and flows, but it is a big difference
Yes.
from a year or 2 ago. Like,
Yes.
so different. Okay, so you've mentioned a few things so far in the conversation, but I wanna talk about how the rebrand has impacted your business.
Yeah, pretty much in every way, I would say. I mean, my I'm making more money, which is obviously amazing. That's something that I think naturally we all hope for and we all
Mhm.
want. I'm making more money, but I'd say I'm making more money because I'm more again in alignment with my work. My launches for offers feel easier and
Mm.
lighter and fun. I'm having a lot of fun creating experiences for my audience and I'm also finding that the right clients are coming in without me having to constantly follow up or constantly come up with a new way to reach out. Now, granted, I'm still early-ish in my rebrand, so that is still a little clunky, but I do feel like everyone that who is in my world who I'm working with right now in the business mentorship space for those run coaches, like those people are people who energize me. Those people are my ideal clients. I'm selling from a place of conviction and not obligation, which I think is
Mm.
really huge for me. And it's fun because I'm not hiding the business side of me anymore. And I feel like, again, that was a little watered down. It's something that existed in me, but whoever they is, I didn't feel like I could talk about it because they said I couldn't. So
Mhm.
now I can, and now I'm leading with that, and that feels really, really good. So I think the money is a natural result of all of those things feeling a little bit more light and free and fun.
Yeah. Whoever they are, they need to go away. Like
Oh yeah, bye.
like, we all need to let them
Yeah,
go away.
release.
I imagine also, like, because of all the confidence and, like, the alignment, that's probably also trickling down to your clients, and you're helping them make those changes as well.
Oh, 100%. A lot of the questions that they will ask on calls is around how to stand out more in their content, how to be seen as a go-to run coach, how to feel more not even authoritative, I would say, just how to feel more seen in the space without having to knock down people's doors. And it's fun for me to coach on that because
Mhm.
that was something I was able to do. But honestly, On the business side, a lot of what they're going through is stuff I have already gone through on the business side and can directly correlate to their own experiences as business owners. So it's fun for me because it's not just, okay, we're only talking about running things. It's, okay, I can definitely help you there because I've been there. And also, I can help you on the business side of things because I know what it takes to get to where I got to, and that's where you want to be. And that makes it more fun for me.
Mhm. Yeah. I love when I mean, I don't know, I think everyone would think this, but I love when the ways that I change as a business owner and also even like personally then trickles down to clients and I'm like, "Oh, like now I can help you like also make this kind of like shift in your business or whatever." And I'm not even a business coach, but like but just like the ways that it trickles down and it's like this has such a positive impact on me and my brand and the marketing's easier and like things just feel better, but then I get to like share that with the clients. Like you probably get to share it a lot more than I do, but it's just it feels so good to like help others kind of see the light, if you want to
Oh,
say. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I always share with my own business mentor. She always asks me, like, what is my favorite part of my business? What do I enjoy doing the most? Because it's so important, first off, to evaluate that in
Mhm.
general. But I always say it's getting to, in real time, coach my clients. I have a group program right now for run coaches who are looking to grow and scale their businesses. And we get on a call once a week in addition to everything else, but it's like we get on that call and it's just live coaching in real time. And everything that I'm learning about myself somehow ends up seeping into how I coach. And it's fun. I wish in my years of having a business mentor that I had more mentors who did that, who were real, who were raw, who were transparent. Because I think if you present yourself as completely put together and you have a, well-oiled machine and everything's beautiful and great, your ideal clients can't really learn fully from you because you're always just hiding a piece of you, and that doesn't
Mhm.
feel very fun as a client.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And I've definitely had both. Like I've had like the mentors who it's not super personable, like not personable, but like they don't share a lot and it's feels more like hands off kind of. And the others who were like, yeah, like it's been a
Yes.
week over here, and they share more of that kind of behind the scenes.
Yep.
And I appreciate that more because I do think as we've both seen, there's a lot in the online space of like the highlight reel and like everyone's like doing great and whatever. And like I know there's a line of like how much we need to share online, but it's nice to like the big quote unquote gurus or like coaches and the mentors. You're like, okay, so like it's not like everything just becomes perfect when you are X number of years in business or make so much money or whatever. So,
Yeah, oh,
um,
totally. I mean, if you step into my Instagram profile, you will see a play by play of all of my emotions. And I used to overthink that, especially
mm,
going through rebrand. I used to be like, well, I'm put together on this side of things, and now I have to know all of that. And I have a wealth of knowledge, but I'm also not being a human if I'm not sharing the stuff
mhm,
that I'm going through. Because again, then it puts up, like you said, this little like wall with people where they know a little about how you operate, but they don't know a lot. And then that makes it feel like, okay, this person isn't really a human on the other end, and
mhm.
we need connection now more than ever. So,
Yes, more than ever. Like, I was just doing a podcast, for this podcast the other day about, like, in this world of AI and which I love AI, but our humanness is what is going to help set us apart. Like,
yes.
we have to put out the, like, weirdness, the imperfect parts, like, we have to connect with people like, use the AI to save time and, like, all that jazz, I'm all for it, but, like, we can't lose the humanness because
100%.
we need that more than ever.
Yes, fully agree.
So, um, to wrap up, what advice do you have for someone who's listening that's like, "Oh, yeah, like, things aren't feeling good. I feel like I need to, like, change things up, maybe rebrand," but they're feeling intimidated?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would absolutely say, and I stand by this in a lot of things I do in business, do not wait until you feel ready. And I know that's like a line and everything, but I truly mean that. With a rebrand, you could be waking up in the middle of the night thinking of this long to-do list of things that you have to do before you officially rebrand. To me, and this is my own personal take, rebranding is more of an identity shift than anything. Yes, it's a logo change if you need it. Yes, it's a website redesign 100%. But all of that clarity comes as you move and not before it. And so if you're holding on to an old version of yourself or an old brand just because that worked well and you don't have the time or the capacity to prepare for this transition, to me, that says do it now. Like, that's
Mhm.
the surest sign that it's time to evolve and do it now because having gone through that, in my opinion, yes, the next version, whatever that is of course always a little bit scarier. But like we talked about earlier, you can balance both if you want to. No one's going to come for you. Yes, that's scary, but it's 10 times more powerful when you're doing things that actually feel good to you versus just saying, I know what I need to do, and then waiting and waiting and waiting until everything is done to do it. I promise you, it'll be way more beneficial if you just rip off the band-aid and start.
Yeah. And I, as someone who was like half in, half out of my niche because I was too nervous to go all in, one, it just like made marketing in general way more complicated than it needed to
Yes.
be. But like when I finally stepped all the way in, it felt so much better. And honestly, by that point, so much of my audience thought I was all the way in. So when I like announced that I was like niching down, and they were like, I thought you already were. Like,
Yeah.
what? And so it's like, I've been making it more difficult for myself
Yes.
and like this whole time. So great. Like, why
Yeah.
do we do that to ourselves? But I always remind people, like, I agree that it's an identity shift, and I see that so much with my clients who come to me and they're rebranding and doing their website. But I'm always like, it's your business. Like, you can shift it again. Like,
Yes.
yeah, sure, let's not niche down and pivot every 6 months, but
Right.
but, like, if you decide like, if you do this and then a year or 2 later, you're like, "Oh, I wanna even get more specific," or, "This is not working, this is not a profitable niche," like, whatever it is, like, whoever they are not gonna come find you and be like, "I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you cannot change."
How dare you? Yes, I totally, totally agree with you. I think that's so relatable because I think myself sometimes I've only been formally whatever, I don't know, a start date, who has one, but like for about 6 to 7 months,
Mhm.
I've been in this new space of being fully a business mentor for run coaches. Having said that, sometimes I have thoughts around, okay, this program's going really well. Maybe I'll one day open it up for people who are run coaches or who are personal trainers
Mm.
and make it more open. I don't think there's one right way to do something. And I truly believe that when you collect feedback from your audience and who's going through it, you're like, what do they like? What do they not like? What's resonating? What's not resonating? And then it's like, great, we own the business. We can
Mhm.
change things. We can make those decisions. And I think that's what makes a rebrand powerful because I'm sure you get this when you go through it, you realize it's not as overwhelming as you once made it out to be, and it's more
100%.
freeing.
Mhm.
And also, you're like, I did it, so I can do that again if I want to.
Yes. Yes, yes. I mean, it for me, I don't know if you, like, related to this. I think you probably did because you kind of mentioned something similar, but, like, when I was tweaking, like, the homepage of my website and was, like, being super specific, it was almost like "Oh my gosh, I can finally say this." Like
Yes. Yes.
and again, it was just me,
Right.
myself, holding myself back.
It's what we tell ourselves. I think
Mhm,
everyone can relate to that. It's like we hold the narrative for ourselves, but it's not at all what we deem it to
mhm.
be. It's always different. So,
Yeah, it is. Well, this has been so, so good. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your experience. Obviously, there's probably some run coaches listening that might need your help. So let us know where we can connect with you and follow you.
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at rips, RIPPS _ on the run. And you can find all of my current offerings for run coaches right at the link in my profile. We have a couple good free resources and a business mastermind for run coaches, all good stuff going on right now. So
Awesome. I will link to that in the show notes so you guys can go connect with Karina. But thank you again for being here.
thank you.
Are you a squiggle or a square? Go to justcreatives.com/quiz to find out where your brand ends up and find out what a square or squiggle even means. If you enjoyed today's show, be sure to leave a review or share it on Instagram, and tune in next week for another episode.